Hello everyone, welcome to my class. I am Shalini Premchand. I am starting class 11 and 12 biology classes with NEET preparations. Today class 11 NCERT chapter 1 the living world. Living world. How can you say that something is living? We can say that something is living by its growth, its reproduction, sense of abilities, locomotion, that is movement. Coming to the points, growth. How can you say that something is growth? It is living. Suppose this is a man, this is a plant. What is the difference of the growth in these two types? Man, growth will stop after a certain period of time, right? In the plant, growth is forever. So if it is a non-living thing, this is a stone, this is a non-living thing. This is a mountain. Mountains can increase in mass due to the accumulation of certain substance on the outer surface. Due to the accumulation of snow, it can increase its mass. So there is a rare exception. Mountains can grow to certain extent. So can we say that growth is the defining property of the living organisms? No, because there are exceptions. Mountains can grow to certain extent. In the human beings, growth is from inside. That's a very important point. In the human beings, growth is from inside. So growth is the characteristic feature, but it is not the defining property. Next comes the reproduction. Two types of reproduction are there, asexual reproduction and sexual type of reproduction. Asexual type of reproduction, only one type of gametes. Sexual reproduction, two types of gametes, male and female, fuse together to form the zygote. Two types of reproduction. And in the reproduction also, there are living organisms which do not reproduce. So here reproduction also cannot be said as the defining property. It is also the characteristic feature, but it cannot be said as the defining property. Next comes metabolism. What is metabolism? Anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism, energy is gained. Catabolism, energy is released. The sum total of all types of reactions taking place inside our body. Whatever types of reactions taking place inside our body is called metabolic reactions or chemical reactions. That is called metabolism. Metabolism is exhibited only by the living organisms. So it is the defining property. No living things exhibit metabolism. So it is the defining property. Next comes cellular organization of the body. Cells, whether it is unicellular, one cell, whether it is multicellular, many cells. Cells will form tissues, tissues to organ, organ to organ system to organism. So cellular organization of the body is also the defining property because cells are present only in living organisms. Next, sensibilities. Sensibilities. Who is performing sensibilities? Living organisms. Living organisms can respond to the surroundings, whatever things is happening. Action, there is a reaction. So sensibilities is also the defining property of the living organisms. Consciousness, self-consciousness is exhibited only by the human beings. So it is a defining property. So these are all the characteristic features plus defining properties are metabolism, cellular organization, sensibilities, that is response, consciousness. Next we are going to the topic diversity. Biodiversity. What type of species? Diversity or biodiversity. Diversity means in the ecosystem many types of species are there. How many types of organisms? How they are interrelated with each other? That is called diversity. Okay, 1.7 to 1.8 million species are there. 1.7 to 1.8 million species are there. So we need to standardize all these type of organisms so that each organism is not same all over the world. There is one scientific name for each organism. Example, we are taking mango. The scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica. Mangifera indica. The scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica. So the famous scientist Carolus Linnaeus has proposed the binomial system of nomenclature. Before that, what is nomenclature? Nomenclature means nomenclature. We have to name a particular organism. We have to name a particular organism based on the observable characters. That is called nomenclature. Based on the observable characters, we have to identify it first, and that is called identification. That is called identification. So nomenclature and identification. Nomenclature means naming of the organisms and identification means identifying the organism based on the observable characters. So the famous scientist Carolus Linnaeus proposed the binomial system of nomenclature. That is, there are many rules for stating that. The first rule is, we will take the example Mangifera indica, that is the scientific name of mango. First rule states that the scientific name should contain two components, the generic part and the specific epithet part. And the second rule states the first letter of the first component should begin with a capital letter, and the first letter of the second component should begin with small letter. That is, here M started with capital letter and I started with small letter. First letter of the first component, capital letter. First letter of the second component begins with small letter. And we should underline it separately if we are writing. And if it is printed in the textbook, it is to be in the italics because it is a Latin word. So, scientific name of mango, Mangifera indica, it contains of two components, generic part and specific epithet part. This is the generic part and this is the specific epithet part. That is genus name and the species name, right? So, biologists also proposed ICBN and ICZN, that is International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. All the plant scientific name comes under this. International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. All the animals comes under this. Zoo animals. Botanical means plants. So we can also say the abbreviation LIN, that because Carolus Linnaeus has proposed this. So different types of organisms names are in your textbooks. That is man. Scientific name of man is Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. Right? H. Generic part first letter started with capital. Specific epithet part first letter started with small. And I am underlining it separately. It contains a generic part and a specific epithet part. Okay. So lion. Scientific name of lion is Panthera leo. Scientific name of tiger is Panthera tigris. So next we are moving to the classification. Classifications of organisms is called taxonomy. It has been deducted from your syllabus now, but for your understanding, I will say classification of the organisms is called taxonomy. There are different groups of them, different hierarchical orders are there to classify. That is hierarchy. Hierarchy means upon the status or upon the power, we are classifying it, classifying of the organisms. That is, remember the code SGFOCPK. That is species, genus, family, order, class, phylum and kingdom. Phylum or division. Species to genus, genus to family, family to order, order to class, class to phylum and phylum to kingdom. So we will be starting with species. Species to genus, genus to family, family to order, order to class, class to phylum, phylum to kingdom. Here kingdom is the utmost one. So we are dealing one by one. Species. What is called a species? What is called a species? Species means a group of related individuals which can interbreed with each other and which have fundamental similarities and will give fertile offspring. Which can interbreed with each other and can give fertile offspring is called species. Example, as human beings are species because we can interbreed with each other, male or female, they have fundamental similarities. So it's an example of species. The term species was coined by the famous scientist John Ray. John Ray has coined the term species. Ernest Mayr has proposed the biological concept of species. That is, species is a group of interrelated animals which can interbreed with each other and will produce a fertile offspring. Related individuals. Here I am taking an example. Lion. Panthera leo. The scientific name of lion is Panthera leo. All the lions come under this. This is a species. I am taking another one, Panthera tigris, that is tiger. Panthera tigris. So all the tigers will come under here. So look at here. These have different species name and same genus name. Why? Because due to some similarities, there is some similarities between lion and tiger. Due to that similarities, we can group the lion and tiger into one genus, that is Panthera. Due to some similarities, we can group it into one genus, that is Panthera. And I am taking, that is, a group of related species will lead to genus. A group of related species will lead to genus. Next I am taking Felis catus. Felis catus, that is cat. Scientific name of cat is Felis catus. Here, if you are looking, cat, tiger and lion have some similarities. They have some similarities. So, due to that similarities, we can group them together into one family, that is called Felidae. Felidae comes into one family. The three of them come into one family due to some similarities. That is, a group of related genus will lead to family. Right? Next comes another family, Canidae, that is dogs. Dogs family. Dogs family is Canidae. So, what is the similarity between the cat and dogs? They eat flesh. So, due to that similarity, they can be grouped into one order, carnivores. Carnivore. They can be grouped into one order, that is Carnivore. That is, a group of related family will lead to order. So, I will take another order, primates. Primates is as human beings. Monkeys, apes or primates. What is the similarity between them? They produce nutrition to the young ones, mammary glands. So, due to that similarity, they can be put into another class, Mammalia. So, I am taking Mammalia. They can be put into another class, Mammalia, due to the presence of mammary glands. I will take another class, that is reptiles. What is the similarity between these two? Notochord, the skeletal cord present. Due to the presence of that notochord, they can be grouped into one phylum, that is Chordata. So came another phylum, Non-Chordata. So they both will come under the kingdom Animalia. Got it? That is the, due to the similarities, that is, a group of related species grouped into genus, a group of related genus will group into family, a group of related family will lead to order, a group of related order will lead to class, a group of related class will lead to phylum or division, and group of related phylum will lead to kingdom. Right? Here we have started with the species. Due to different similarities, they have been grouped. So, if you are saying here, from the species to kingdom, similarities are decreasing. Hierarchical order can be vice versa. It can be from lower to higher and higher to lower. So, from the species to kingdom, similarities are decreasing. But from the kingdom to species, similarities will increase. Right? So, which is the lowest group means? That is a species. That is lowest group. Which is the highest group? Kingdom. Lowest species. That is with the most closely related group, and the lowest group is species. Kingdom is the highest group. That is, kingdom is the highest group, species is the lowest group, right? So, Panthera leo and Panthera tigris, two species, came into one genus. Due to some similarities, it grouped into one family. Then comes the order, then comes the class, then comes the phylum to kingdom. Okay, there is. So, I think it's clear now. So, there is a term called tautonym. Tautonym. Tautonym means the scientific name in which the same word is used for both genus and species. Example, red fox is there. The scientific name of red fox is Vulpes vulpes. Vulpes vulpes. Look here, the genus and the species name is same here. They are called tautonyms. Another example is gorilla gorilla. Scientific name of gorilla is gorilla gorilla. Here the genus and the species name is same. So these terms are called tautonyms. It's very important. So what we have studied today, the different characteristic features of the living organisms, defining properties, and the hierarchical orders, binomial nomenclature. Done. So tautonyms also, that is the word which have the genus and species name as the same. So here comes the end of this class. If you have any doubt, please comment below. We will see in the next class. Till then, stay safe.